This passage both comforts and challenges us. It challenges us to do two things. One, let go of our need to know a specific timeline of God's work in the world, and two, hold on loosely to our images and depictions of Jesus, recognizing that we can never fully capture the essence of Jesus. And yet the passage also comforts us by letting us know that even as God calls us to do the hard work of advocating for a world of justice and equality, without knowing when the work will end, and even as God reminds us that Christ is so much bigger than our limited imaginations, God is with us. God accompanies us and empowers us. God does not leave us alone. I venture to say that many of us look at the pain, violence, and messiness of the world around us and ask, God, when will the fullness of your kingdom, a kingdom built on equality and justice, be here? And that's an understandable question. In the U.S., more and more states are creeping towards fascism. Christian nationalism is on the rise, and people are just struggling to survive and feed their families and keep shelter over their heads. And yet God does not give us a specific date. And perhaps that has less to do with God's willingness or unwillingness to tell us, and more to do with the reality that we as humans work with God to bring about the fullness of the kingdom. And too many of us like the violence and oppression of the status quo. But God, through the Holy Spirit, strengthens us and inspires us to do the right thing and inspires us to imagine and work towards a better world. The second point that this passage conveys is holding loosely to our images of Jesus. I imagine that the disciples were filled with awe, but also anxiety and fear as they watched Jesus go up into the air. I'm sure one of them thought, really? Gone again? The disciples had clear hopes, wishes, and expectations for what the Messiah was supposed to say and do. And while Jesus fulfilled some of those, he also disappointed other expectations. And I think we have a similar disconnect. We have all these ideas about Jesus based on thousands of years of theological debate, our own cultures and experience, etc. And I'm not here to debate whether our images of Jesus are right or wrong. Instead, I advocate for us to be able to recognize that our images and representations of Jesus cannot and do not represent the fullness of Christ. God calls us to let go of our need for a specific timeline and our need to put Christ in a manageable and controllable box.